Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Sonia Space. This is episode 19 of my podcast series, and I want to do something a little different today. I kind of switch around with segments, outside of talking about the topic that I have planned for the podcast episode. I want to incorporate different things. And for today, I would like to start with a mantra to start your day off right or set your mood for the rest of the day or for the next day. And I think it's a great way to bring in positivity. It's a great way to create the space of inspiration and positivity, and also a space of relatability, right? I know we're all going through something. I know we're all working towards something. And sometimes we need a little push, some words of advice to kind of help us overcome these challenges. And so I would like to start off with a mantra, and it is, I will have a good day because it's my choice. I really like this one because it really is your mentality and your willingness to make sure that you have a good day. Being grateful and being positive about a situation doesn't necessarily mean you're happy, but you're kind of changing your mindset is not necessarily an easy thing to do. This is something that you have to work towards. And I've noticed for myself that if I count the blessings that I have or things that I'm grateful for, or I just kind of go into this mindset of like, okay, today you're going to have a good day. You're going to go on a walk. You're going to eat healthy. You're going to drink water. You're going to do what you can better than you did yesterday. It automatically makes me feel great. It makes me feel good. And it's this practice that I'm trying to adapt to in my lifestyle. And I'm sure that this can work for everyone else. I also started doing this thing. I don't know where I read this. I think it was on Pinterest or Instagram or something. But basically, I have a section in my notes app where towards the end of the day, I just type out what's a good thing that happened to me today. And it could be one thing or multiple things. And I feel like having a sense of gratitude and kind of being able to shift your mindset and really take control of your mind and practicing that is super beneficial for you. So I wanted to start off with a mantra, a daily mantra, and I hope that I can incorporate this for the rest of my podcast episodes. For today's episode, I'm really looking forward to talking about this topic. I would love to delve into this topic. I did something kind of similar to what I will be talking about today, which is things I've learned in my 30s. I do try to do a lot of self-reflection, and I kind of think back to my 20s and my adolescent years and middle school, elementary school, and the things that I have gone through. And I am just so surprised at how many things I have overcome, how I've built confidence or whatever in my life that I did not have when I was much younger. And I'm sure many of you can relate to it because it takes time, it takes effort, and it also takes the work that you put in to yourself. And sometimes you really impress and amaze yourself and you think, wow, where am I going to be at in my 40s, in my 50s, in my 60s? I want my podcast, this space, to be a space where we can learn and grow from each other. I don't want to spit back fake positivity or toxic positivity. I actually want to get into this space of openness and vulnerability and be able to talk about things that we can all relate to and learn from and understand that you're not alone in whatever it is that you're going through. Yeah, the situation might be different, but understand that we're all going through something and we're all learning from ourselves and from others. And that's a beautiful part of life because that's how you evolve and grow as a person. So for today's episode, I would like to go into what I would tell my younger self. I think it's a great way to self reflect and think about everything that you've been through and you were able to overcome, and think of all the wonderful things that are to happen to you moving forward. So, what would I tell my younger self? And I had to sit down and really think about this because what I might have been through, someone else may have not been through. So it's personal to me and it's personal to my journey. But overall, I'm sure we can all relate to these points that I'm going to make. The first one I would say is do not be afraid of failure or trying new things. Take those risks. I feel like growing up, I was a pretty shy girl, and I still have those characteristics sometimes. And I always kind of been like in my bubble. Not that I wasn't willing to do things, but I think I was just afraid to do them because I was afraid what other people would say or if I would embarrass myself. You know, little kids think about things like that, but I also continued to carry that on even in like my teenage years and high school years. And I would tell myself, wow, like it really does not matter. Like, how are you going to live your life not being able to try new things? Because that's how you learn more about yourself. You understand your likes and dislikes and the people you want to surround yourself with. And I wish I did more of that. But I'm glad that I'm able to admit to that at this age in my early 30s. And I'm now, I feel like over the last few years, I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to try new things. I'm willing to try and meet new people. I think it's a great thing that you can do for yourself. And if I was able to tell my younger self now, and my younger self could hear this, I would say, please do not be afraid of failure or trying new things. And I know that I loved and I wanted to do many things, but I feel like I was not fully operating at my full potential, if that makes sense. The next thing I would say is you will have your ups and downs in your life, but you will overcome all of them eventually. And that goes for all of us. I think all of us are going through some challenges, have been through certain things, and you think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get over that breakup or this death or something, right? But you will overcome those challenges and those setbacks. I think back now and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I cried about this certain thing or this certain person. And I'm just like, it doesn't even matter anymore. Why did I even do that in the first place? You know, you do overcome those challenges and you get better at working through your feelings and really understand that it makes you a stronger person. It makes you see things differently and you're able to evolve and grow out of that process. So whatever you're going to go through, you will overcome it. And I'm telling this to myself for the future, whatever you are going through, you will overcome it. You will get out of that setback or that challenge sooner or later. The next thing I would tell myself, and this was a hard pill to swallow for me. I still kind of struggle with this, but I know this is the truth now, right? Like I'm aware of this. I'm just working on it. And it is, you are responsible for your own happiness and your own life. You cannot expect that from other people, right? So I have to build a life for me that makes me happy, that I need to make sure that I'm in a good mental state and not at the expense of other people. It's coming from me. So if I need to set any boundaries or do things, even from people that I love, to make myself happier and make sure I have a peace of mind, I will do it. And I feel like a lot of women in my culture, the South Asian culture, struggle from that because you feel that emotional guilt from the society, from your parents. But you really have to understand at the end, you are you alone in your life. You have to be the one to pave your journey, your path. You are responsible for your own happiness. You should not be considering anyone's opinions when you're wanting to do something that makes you happy and brings you joy. And this is something I have struggled with for a long time. And I feel like I'm so much better at it now that I just do not care what other people think. Right. And this also includes people that are really close to me. And some people might not understand that. That's okay. But I'm working towards a life that makes me happy and makes me feel fulfilled without having to worry about what other people think or what the society thinks. And I wish I started that from a much younger age. But of course, I didn't know any better. And especially being in the society and the culture that I came from, it's very much stigmatized to where women have certain expectations. But I feel like this is one of the greatest things that I've discovered about life and about myself. And I would definitely tell my younger self to go for it. Another piece of advice I would give myself is you are your own worst critic. There's been so many times in my life where I've been so hard on myself unnecessarily. I still do that till this day. I'm much better about it, but I know that I do that. And it's this thing that I need to learn how to get out of, and it takes practice. But you really are your own worst critic. You know, you can be so hard on yourself. Yes, someone might have an opinion of you or whatever it may be, but the way you react to it is very important because people always have something to say, and it could be a family member, it could be a friend, but at the end, you have to be able to receive it in a way that it doesn't impact you mentally. And if you receive it in the wrong way, then you end up being your own worst critic and you end up being really hard on yourself. And I feel like growing up, I did have a lot of that. And I wish I wasn't so hard on myself growing up. But now, at least I'm aware that I am responsible for my own feelings and processing those feelings and how I receive opinions from others. And I have to be the one to know that I'm in charge of everything that goes on in my mind. The last and the most important thing that I would tell myself is just be yourself. You don't have to conform to someone else's likings or their expectations of you. Be yourself. And I feel like I was pretty okay with being myself. I think I was kind of a rebellious kid. Sometimes if someone would tell me something, I would start questioning it. But then I still struggled from knowing that, okay, it's not good for me mentally having to deal with this. But I've learned as I've gotten older is be yourself. There's nothing wrong with being yourself. You don't want to be another person. You don't want to copy another person. You want to be your own authentic self. And when you are your own self and the way that you truly want to be, you remove people and situations that are not meant for you. You will slowly distance yourself from people and situations that are not meant for you. I know it sounds cliche, but that does happen. You yourself don't want to even be in a space where you cannot be your true self, where you feel like you will be judged for who you are, or people who don't think like you, and you feel like you have to be someone else to fit that mold. And I would say once you do learn and focus on being your true self, you're automatically going to attract people that love you for who you are. You're automatically going to be in situations that are meant for you to be there. And you will really have this sense of peace. And when you're struggling with determining your identity and who you are, especially as a young Pakistani woman, because like I said earlier, we have such high expectations from us, go to this school or have this job or marry at this age and have kids at a certain age. And you have to be this way with your husband and your in-laws. And it's not all necessarily good for you. These are things that people did to survive, but I feel like they've lost themselves in the process of it. And I know I don't want to be that person at all in my life. And the best thing you can do for yourself is just be yourself, regardless of the opinions of others or what anyone else has to say. I think it's great that as you get older, you have the ability to learn from your experiences and reflect on the past and appreciate some of the choices that you've made. And moving forward, you don't know the types of choices that you will make or if something's going to be an experience. But I feel like at least right now in my 30s, I feel like I'm much wiser than I was in my 20s. And I know that I have much more to learn and grow and evolve into. Thank you so much for listening in today. I am so grateful for all the support and feedback I've been getting. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to Sonia Space and follow me on Instagram for sneak peeks on upcoming episodes as well as other inspirational content. I hope your day goes well and I've left you feeling inspired. Bye-bye.